The world-famous Bellagio fountains are a bunch of TV sets this week as the Super Bowl's in Vegas. And with all the times we talked to Dan Orlovsky, Brownie, I'm told today he will be trying the Big Swagoo's chicken sandwich later today.
I've not heard this, Dan. Welcome in, Dan Orlovsky with us.
Apparently he hasn't either.
Yeah, Dan,
I haven't either.
This is news to
Say
him.
hello from guys. That's not the real Caesar's Palace, just so we're clear. I have not heard that. I have not heard about that chicken sandwich, but I'll take it.
Where did you get this information, by the way?
Our friend Ashley, who works in the business, says, and she knows the big Swagoo, says he asked Dan about trying the Big Swagoo's chicken sandwich later today.
Okay.
Maybe somebody.
I saw it on social media that it was with a company I think he does like fish fry with, and I was like, yeah, I'd probably eat this just because I wouldn't eat most of the food that Marcus eats. So maybe there's some legs to that.
Do you eat bread?
Not really. I don't eat bread a ton. No. Some pizza. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't live without bread.
It's the Bellagio fountains, guys.
Yeah. Is that the real Bellagio?
Hey, so
That's the real one.
Dan, best movie that's got a Las Vegas backdrop.
Best movie that's got a Las Vegas backdrop is Hangover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah, that was in the running. Yeah.
I mean, there's some good ones. You mentioned the Bellagio. I mean, Ocean's 11 was out
Fantastic
there,
movie,
leaving
yeah.
Las Vegas.
Great movie.
Casino?
Casino. I mean, there's
I got
some,
one right.
You did. There's some really good Las Vegas movies. The Cooler.
Yeah. Hey, if before you get to your destination here, because it's a shorter drive, I think, from New York to wherever you're going in Las Vegas, unless you get started on traffic.
That is.
I want to about the actual game coming up on Sunday. What can Kansas City do to sort of put Brock Purdy in a bad situation defensively? Is there an advantage that the Chiefs can do to confuse or make Purdy, have to win the game for the 49ers?
Yeah, it's win first down defensively. If the Chiefs, and that's something that they like foundationally and identity-wise believe in, win first down. Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator for Kansas City, is one of those guys that when you sit down and talk with him, no matter who the opponent, you go, Coach, what do you guys got to really hone in and focus on? He's like, we got to stop the run. And sometimes you get tired of hearing defensive guys say that because you're like, I know you have to stop the run. Like I know football well enough, but it is a core foundation of who he is. And he's one of those coaches that does, a really good job of trying to do that in a couple ways. Number one, they do it with bodies, like they will commit people down to the football. And then the second thing is they'll do it with run pressures, slanting their defensive line, pressuring a corner off the edge so they can, kind of secure gaps and whatnot. If they can do that on early downs, then that's going to put them, San Francisco, in a bind two ways. Number one, Kansas City can dial up some of their more exotic pressures, and they have some of the most exotic blitzes in the NFL. And then two, San Francisco's offensive line is not an elite pass protecting offensive line. Outside of Trent, they struggle. Trent Williams. Kansas City's blitzes and the way that they create one-on-one matchups advantage Kansas City. So they can win first down defensively. That goes a long, long way for that defense.
Dan Orlovsky is with us from Vegas. MyBookie.ag has brought you Dan all season long. MyBookie.ag code next round. When you sign up to get that sign-on bonus at MyBookie.ag, Dan has arrived at his destination. What is the destination?
Yeah, I'll stand outside. Paris. We're at the Paris Hotel.
Okay. All right. If you need to go, just tell us. You can go.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I just wanted to get out. I don't want to bother the driver anymore.
Oh, okay. You're all good. Hey, so,
Wait, is that the real Eiffel Tower?
Yes.
Yes, they moved into Vegas. Hey, so San Francisco is known for forcing you to basically work outside the numbers. I don't envision Andy Reid being forced to do anything he doesn't want to do offensively. How does that battle play out?
Well, I think San Francisco forces you to work outside the numbers, but also they're not as strong outside the numbers as they are inside. One of the things that's been really interesting about Kansas City's offense is they've become so game plan specific in the playoffs. Against the Dolphins, it was 3-level throws, and they ran them a bunch of different ways. And then against Buffalo, it was, they're going to get a certain formation and run at their nickel. And then against Baltimore, it was 4 strong. I don't anticipate, that they're going to Andy Reid run from, the opportunities to throw the ball outside the numbers. I think that they'll kind of welcome that because they've done a good job of that in the playoffs. Also, the way, one of the things that's happened with Rashee Rice is, the guy that's become their number one receiver is like they're not asking him to break down routes anymore. He's just running straight lines. And they're just trying to get the ball in his hands. I think that's going to be something that we see out of Andy Reid and Kansas City's offense. Like, hey, let's get the ball into those guys' hands and force this defense to go sideline to sideline. Now, they're usually good at it, but they're going to have to tackle really well in space against both Rashee and Kelsey. So there'll be some action outside the numbers, but they don't run from that because Patrick's so good.
If I said Nick Bosa, most important defensive player for San Francisco, I would disagree. Okay, well, I was just asking because Mahomes has been so difficult to get to in the postseason. Only 2 sacks in 3 games, and you look at Bosa coming off 2 big sack game against Detroit. I would assume you got to be able to get him to the ground, though, right?
Yeah, I think the most important person on that defense is Javon Hargrave. Interior. So you mentioned Patrick's been sacked twice. No one's really gotten to him pressure-wise, and the question goes, well, why? I think that the thing, part of the game plan specific stuff that is a byfactor of that is they've done such a tremendous job of helping their offensive tackles in protection by formations. And they're not singling those guys up on a consistent basis. More often than not, they'll put a tight end there to help, or they'll go with Pacheco there to help. And so what they're saying is we're going to help those tackles. They're not going to be the reasons we lose games. And they believe that their interior 3, Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, and Allegretti, now Joe Thuney being out, that those guys, those 3 can handle the other 2. And Baltimore had a couple moments when they got after Patrick in the way that they did. So, I think that if San Francisco's defensive line is going to have moments where they impact this game, Bosa's got to do his job, but pass rush-wise, I think it's got to be Hargrave winning on the inside.
So back in July, we were up at SEC Media Days in Nashville, and the SiriusXM guys went out with the AAA affiliate, the Nashville Sounds, and they all took cuts. I forgot what the speed of the jugs was, but the only guy that consistently put wood on it was Dari Noka. And he swore he took no cuts before, and I'm getting to a point here. And, of course, I had a couple of cocktails, saw him at a bar, and I was like, I guarantee you took cuts before you actually got out there. The precision passing at the Pro Bowl, you actually had the best score of any of the active quarterbacks. Did you have a couple of run-throughs before?
No, I picked up the ball that was like the bin of balls I picked up, and I was like, the reason why I did that was they were dry running all the events for television. So the television people and all the moving parts were ready for the actual event the next day. So they said, hey, we're going to dry run this with the cameras and all that stuff. Would you do? And I was like, sure. So I walked over there and I picked up a ball and I was like, oh my gosh, dude, I have not thrown a ball in years. And so I was like, all right, give me like 10, 15 throws, just me to one of our producers, 15, 20 yards away. I was just like, I got to warm up just a little bit. And so I was like, I took 15, 20 throws, just, point A to point B with him. And then they were like, all right, these are the rules, horn sounds, this and that. And I was like, all right, give me the rules one more time. And they gave it to me. I was like, all right. And they were like, you ready? I'm like, sure. Because they were running through all these different drills. I wasn't necessarily like, hey, I can't wait to do this. And I wasn't trying to, take up too much of their time. So no dry runs, but I got a lucky day, man. I got a lucky day.
You still got it.
I will tell you, I don't know if you've seen the report. Right now, you're 3rd on the Indianapolis Colts depth chart.
I don't want to go do that. That would be a pay cut right now for me. So.
That's kind of good at ESPN.
Humble brag.
That's a high-end talent at ESPN. Yeah. You think they put everybody up?
The third string quarterback doesn't make as much as the public thinks they do.
Yeah. You think they put the low-end talent at Paris? No, they put the high-end talent at Paris.
Yeah, I just want to know.
Yeah.
Is Saban making more as a new colleague of yours?
Oh, God, yeah.
Do you think he'll enjoy that? I mean, you do it. Do you think a coach can itch that competitive scratch he's got by doing that every week on game day?
I think he'll enjoy it. It's not going to feed that competitive, need that he has. But I think he'll enjoy it. I think he'll be around, like being around that group. That group is awesome. I think he'll be like being around different campuses and whatnot and feeling the energy of, the students still on the college campuses. But
it is not going to feel that competitive, psycho drive that he has. No, but he's aware of that.
Yeah. All right, he is Dan Orlovsky. See him from Vegas all week leading up to the Super Bowl the rest of this week. Thank you very much. This is our final regular visit with Dan. He'll be back on. We have very much enjoyed it all season long, Dan. Thank you for doing
Dan.
this.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, I've had a ton of fun with you guys. It's been a lot. You guys ask good questions, and we've had some fun. So I thank you guys.
Yeah, well, enjoy Vegas and enjoy the game. We appreciate it.
All right, fellas.
All right, man. See you. Dan with us each week, courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Code next round.